This is so awkward. So, hi guys. So, it's me, Catherine, and I've just been getting so much questions about Love Island in general and just about my experience. So, obviously, I've been putting up Q&As and I am finally answering all your questions. So, the way I've done this, I've kind of divided this into like 3 parts. So, the first part is like the start of my journey. Second part, mid of my journey, and obviously the end of my journey is the last part. Then I have like a part where it's like general questions, but this is like a quick like 10 questions fire around just to get you guys to know me a little bit better. I did get a lot of questions, so what I did do was like group them together. You guys will see as I go through them. So I'm just gonna get right into it. First question, were you nervous when you went into the villa? I heard you fainted. So I wasn't really nervous going in. Like, so the day before, all the prep and all, I wasn't really nervous. It was kind of like, just get me in there. I feel like when I became more nervous was when I was blindfolded and I was actually walking up into the villa because I couldn't see. I didn't know what to expect. And yes, I did faint. Well, I didn't faint. I don't know what it's called. It's like before you faint. So like I was about to faint, but I didn't faint. So like everyone was like, are you okay? Are you okay? It was so embarrassing. Like I was like, oh God, I need sugar. I need sugar. I haven't eaten. But yeah, that happened. Was there a time you wanted to leave the villa? I would say obviously you're in there for a long amount of time. So there obviously are points where you're like, I just want to be at home. I just want to be with my family. I want to be with friends. But I feel like what helped me through it was that I remember that everyone else was feeling similar. People also wanted to go home. People also missed their home and their family. So I feel like there was a lot of times that I did feel like that. Okay, next question. How did you keep your wigs looking fresh in the villa? So, obviously, I'm a wig girly. I kept my wigs looking fresh by sticking with a 5x5 wig, okay? 5x5, 6x6 closure wig. That way, I didn't have to stick it down. It was all glueless, and obviously, that just helped. And then during the day, while it was so hot, we used like headbands to just prevent it from like coming back. Um, Next question. Was it weird not having your phone and knowing the time? It was really weird. There was a lot of adjusting, I say, because obviously we don't know the time. Our body obviously runs on its own body clock. So, when you're getting told to sleep at a certain time, when you're used to like, I don't know, waking up and picking up your phone, it's just weird not doing that anymore. So I think what kind of helped was the holding period before we actually went into the villa, because that was getting used to not having your phone, just being there. So that definitely did help a lot. Did you honestly think you'd find love in the villa, or did you go for fame? Honestly, as deluded as this sounds, I honestly thought I'd find love. I honestly looked at this as like an experiment. I was like, okay, cool. My love life on the outside, it's not given. It's not working out. So it's like, why not go on to the show and see if I could potentially find love, because it's not the norm, it's not what I'm used to. People have found love from the show, so why can't I? So I honestly did go in there with open heart. Did you know anyone before you went in? No, I did not know anyone before I went in. Um, and I didn't speak to anyone as well. Yeah, I didn't speak to anyone. I didn't speak to pre-islanders. I feel like I was the only one, and like me and like maybe 2 others were like the only ones that had no links to Love Island. We didn't like know anyone before. We didn't speak to anyone about coming in as in like past islanders and stuff like that. Like when they said secret, I kept it a secret. um did Ty, Sammy, and the rest apologize about the fire pit situation? Yes, they did. Obviously, after the fire pit situation, it was quite tense in the villa. I feel, obviously, I was just not being heard. I was talking, but people weren't hearing me, and it was quite frustrating for me because it's like, just listen. When you're trying to get someone to listen, they're not listening. So it like, get you more and more like, listen to me. You just get more frustrated. So I feel like by the end of it, and obviously where Sammy and Ty, like, they weren't considering my feelings and stuff like that. We obviously had a conversation after it. I had like a little cute bro and sis moment with Ty where I cried. He got a little bit emotional too. Like, we did have that like discussions, and obviously these apologies weren't shown. But yes, we did, after the fire situation, we all actually spoke about it, and everything was actually cool after that. Moving on to mid of my journey questions. I'm gonna try get through these as quick as I can. Um, but yeah, cool. These questions. Yeah. Question. Casa, you were very excited to go. I feel it was portrayed like that, okay? So what actually happened was, obviously Neo's like, let's take a picture. Us girls, we were like, ooh, we're gonna be on Neo's Instagram. You know, we're walking. I felt like we were walking backstage. We're like, fixing our hair, like getting ready for this picture. And obviously, like, I feel it was the whole situation, it was the whole shock of it. So it was portrayed as if like, oh, I was like, oh my god, the girls, and get in the car. No, we were actually out there for like 10 to 15 minutes screaming. And I'd be like, oh my god, no way, this is this stuff. Discussing how we all knew, discussing like the sign. Like, there was so much things that I think they just wanted us to get in the car. And it's just like, girls, get in the car. No one says this. So I'm like, girl, I'm the one that took it. I was like, girls, get in the fucking car. But it was funny. It was funny. It was funny. Um, what happened with the girls' argument in Casa? I feel like there's been so much things around this. Um, no, we didn't. Like, security wasn't called. I think what was that day we actually got more drinks than we usually get, and obviously now we've all become lightweights because you literally just get one drink a night. So I can't even remember what the argument was about, but it just got rowdy, and we were all just shouting at girls. And that cast at night, like any of the girls can tell you, it was the most stressful night for any of us. It was like, I don't know. It sounds silly, but we were all upset that we didn't have our things. Like, and I'm just like, I feel like that added to it. But yeah, it was just so silly. Like, it wasn't a big thing. Yes, did we get some words about in the morning? Yes, but it was not like anything that any of us held against each other. Like, we literally considered it as if it was normal. We're like, oh, how drunk did this person get last night? Like, it was just funny. Like, were you aware of how much you and Scott were loved? No. That's the simplest answer. I just feel like, obviously when you're in the villa, you're just living in real life. Like, no one ever came in, like any of the bombshells, they never came in, and they never like shed light on me and Scott's situation as they did in all the other situations. So it was always like, you know, maybe they tell them about Ty and Ella, they might say about Whitney, they might say about Mitch, like, but it would never be in me and Scott's situation. And obviously we're already going through our own, like, you know, trying to build, especially at the start of our journey was a bit rocky and whatever, but we actually never knew how much we were loved until I came out, of course. Did you and Scott discuss the challenges of interracial dating? I wouldn't say we discussed the challenges as such, but during our first few conversations, it was definitely spoken about. Yeah, it was definitely spoken about. What did you like about Ellen that made you switch to Scott? Guys, Casa was hard. Casa was so hard because, you know, you have to open up yourself, and obviously I think I've said this in like different like interviews and podcasts and stuff, but me and Scott were in a place where we never kind of defined our relationship. And again, where everyone knew, like, you know, we were going to Casa, whatever, we did have discussions about it, and it was like, I'm keeping open, you keep open. So I never went in there with the idea that Scott liked me. Even discussing it with Scott after, he literally said it wasn't until after Casa, like, he gained feelings for me. So before that, it wasn't really there. So obviously, I don't think we ever realized like how cute we were being and how much we actually like gelled. Um, I think we're just living our dating life in the villa, and like things just, yeah, things just, yeah. Describe Lecky Girls dynamic, the mom, the mediator, etc. The Lecky Girls. Okay. So I was definitely the mediator. I was definitely the mediator. I would say Ella was the mom. Um, Whitney was just that sister, that the gister, you know. Whitney was the funny one. She was the gister, and then Jess was just the silly one. So like, Jess was just the cutesy one, you know, the girl's girl that I'ma support you whenever. So I feel like we all just came together as just like bringing different qualities and just like gel together from day one. Favorite memory in the villa. Hmm. My favorite memory, I have top two. I have a top two. So my top two would be Heart Race Challenge and Neo. Heart Race Challenge was the date of my birthday, by the way. So that's why I gave it. But what you guys didn't actually see was my heel kept getting stuck in like the grooves of the fire pit. So while I'm dancing, it's like, ugh, like I'm trying to like take my shoe out, and I was like, like it was actually quite funny, but I still gave it, and I kicked my heels off at the end, and I quickly danced. They didn't show the full dance, but I'm telling you, there is more to it. That was Neo. Neo was amazing. You know, the moment we received that text, we couldn't stop like screaming, because one thing about us in that villa, we sang. We sang. We used to sing Neo. We used to sing whatever. Used to do a cappella. We used to do whatever. The boys used to sing as well. Um, yeah. So it was actually quite like refreshing to know like they're hearing us, they're listening to us, and then obviously seeing Neo, we were like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then the day of Neo was so good as well. It was just such good vibes in the villa. Um, I feel like that was, to be fair, that was probably the best day in the villa. It was just so good, like, because obviously where they're doing sound checks and whatever, they're blaring music in the villa. So while we're getting ready, we finally have music while getting ready. You know, we're listening, I'll be drinking. We were just singing. It was just good vibes. It just felt like your girls getting ready, about to go to a concert. And then again, we were so close to Neo. So like this was stage. Like we touched Neo. Like we touched the sweat. Like it was just so fun, and everyone was such in a good place. Like Neo was so good. Oh, obviously, like apart from us getting shipped to Casa, but Neo was good. Neo was really good. Did you ever get in trouble? Yes, I feel like everyone got in trouble at certain points. I feel like obviously me and the girls were sisters. Like we got in trouble a lot for talking when we shouldn't talk, whispering, like trying to tell each other tea when we're not meant to talk, or like during down days when boys and girls are meant to be separate, we're not meant to talk about anything Love Island related, and then we still would because something crazy must have happened. They're like, hold off, whole conversation. I was like, I need to get out now. Like, and you know, we were actually girls. We're like, oh my gosh, like I need to speak about this. And everyone was so close as well. So, you know, we were just being naughty sometimes. Cold words in the villa. So I actually think some of the girls got in trouble. I can't even remember them off head. I know Jess Lee and stuff got in trouble for having a cold word from our bombshell. Cause we used to guess a lot what was gonna happen next. So we used to get in trouble for that. We used to get in trouble for that a lot. Tell us something the outside doesn't know. So quickly, I don't know if you guys know this, but like when we used to go to like our spa days and to like outside the villa, um, we used to be able to play music. So when we used to play music in the car, we used to be dancing. We used to record it on our Google Pixels of us like mounting the music, so that, or even like just recording the music so that when we get back to the villa, we actually had like music. Yeah, we actually used to do that a lot. Obviously the challenges I thought was gonna be far away. It was right outside the villa. Like there's a little field outside, so it was right outside. We literally walked to it. What else? Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, actually, obviously this wasn't shown, but me and the girls used to have a spot where we used to talk, but like we didn't talk, we mouthed stuff, okay? But it obviously was like a blind spot or something, okay? So I think one of the days, Jess was coming, and just being Jess, she was like, "Oh, girls," and we're like, "Yes." And then ever since then we got in trouble. So like they never let me, Ella, Jess, and Whitney ever go like bathrooms together. Like nothing. It was so funny. Was there any unaired scene you wish were aired that would have made a difference to viewers' opinions? Yes, I would say like there was many. So I'm not gonna sit here and name like, oh, I wish something was shown or wish something wasn't shown. Because I feel like you literally only see an hour of a 24-hour day. I know that's obviously being repeated, but it's like these 5 minute conversations you see, we actually are sat down there for like an hour, 2 hours, because we are outside for like ages. I don't know the time, but like from morning to sunset. Like, so we weren't just having 10-minute conversations here and there. We weren't napping. We weren't allowed to nap. So it was just outside constantly. So you can imagine our conversations were quite long. And like, I don't know, I just feel like there was a lot of conversation that could have provided context. It was just so funny. Like, it's just so funny, obviously, to watch it, but obviously it's TV. They can't fit everything in a 1 hour TV show, without obviously live streams and that. But so I do get in that context, but definitely yes, there was. So now we're moving on to the end of my journey questions. Mental health outside the villa. So I would say with mental health, um, I won't lie, it's been hard, but obviously I am quite a strong-headed person. It's definitely been hard. It's been hard, handling this whole new life. But obviously, what I will say with it is that surround yourself with like friends, family, like everything, like just put yourself in a positive mindset. Um, just put yourself in a positive mindset. Try to do things that you were doing prior to being in Love Island. Like, I feel like that's what helped me a lot. Like, I used to enjoy playing Candy Crush. I used to enjoy watching Netflix, and doing that kind of like helped me just get back into normality and just remembered like I'm actually okay and things do pass. So I feel like if anything, obviously not only Love Island related, like try get stuff in routine, remain positive, surround yourself with people that genuinely make you smile, watch stuff that make you laugh, do small stuff like that and inch towards happiness every single day. Are you still friends with all the other islanders? Yes. I have not fought with any single person. I'm still friends with everyone. I'm still cool with everyone. What happened to you and Ellum? It wasn't long after coming out of it that I knew that me and Ellum wouldn't work on the outside, and I don't invest time into stuff that I don't see it going the long route, because you just waste your own time. What's your fave part of being outside the villa? I would say my favorite part being outside the villa would be just meeting people. Like, honestly, meeting everybody just puts a smile on my face, and I'm a quite sociable person. So, having people smile, having people saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm meeting," I'm like, "Girl, I'm normal." Like, ask me anything. Like, I'm just such a that gives me joy. That gives me joy when I see people happy to see me, and obviously it's not something I'm used to before. So I think that is the best part, just meeting all you amazing people. How is your relationship going with Scott? Are you guys just friends or something deeper? I knew this one was coming. Well, obviously it was coming. I got like 1,000 questions on this, so I kind of grouped it into one question. So Scott and I are friends. Obviously where we left the villa, we did leave as friends. We were close. We had a close friendship. So it was good between us. Obviously coming outside the villa, I think the first place I seen him was the Love Island final viewing party, and that was even quite brief. But obviously he was just adjusting being out as well. So obviously we spoke, and he was like, "I cannot believe how bad an edit you got." Like, we just we gelled as I knew we would, because we were close in the villa. Our relationship status, obviously, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Scott and I actually were speaking. We were getting closer. Yeah, like, we did enjoy being together. Could there have been some? I'm not gonna lie, yes. I think we even had a conversation. It was just like outside the villa, me and him felt more natural. Um, so yeah, it was, yeah. Obviously, see all the cute edits, send them to each other. We're friends, and obviously, I'm happy for him, whatever he is doing. But yeah, there was a time you guys weren't the Lulu. You guys definitely were not the Lulu. There was a time where obviously we were exploring things. Are you dating anyone after the show? No. Why did I think about that? No, I'm not dating anyone after the show. My dating life is boring. I've just been so busy, not gonna lie as well. So it's not like I've taken time to date. I'm really going with if the right person comes in, they come in. I'm not gonna go looking. How would you describe your Love Island journey? I would describe my Love Island journey as a whirlwind, just one world. It was amazing. Like, it was actually such a good experience because you're with the best people, you have the time of your life. It was actually so good. How did it truly feel coming out to all the hate? Coming out to all the hate was hard. And obviously, the way I've come out to it as well was not nice. Like, I feel like everyone's just quick to jump on the hate train. And like obviously I'm leaving happy. I had an amazing time with amazing people. And then, I come into the car because you don't actually get your phone back until you're in the car back home. So I've landed at the airport, not knowing a thing, walking through, secure everything, not knowing a thing. And then not until I get into the car, turn on my phone, just look at all my notifications and it's just like hatred, like death messages. Like it was just horrible. But obviously being around my family flew down, so obviously being around my sister, my mom, cousins, whatever, that made me okay. And I just kind of took a break off social media where like I wasn't on my phone a lot. My phone stayed on DND, like it stayed on DND. Are you going to return to your real estate job? um I would never rule it out. I definitely do want to stay in commercial real estate. I feel like that's something that I've always said that I wanted to do. Always want to have ties in real estate. Obviously I can do a whole nother video on real estate if you guys want to. Obviously being young, being in the industry. But I love my job. I love the company I was at as well. Like I absolutely love everything about it. But obviously where I'm so busy and trying to balance it out because real estate is a lot. It's a lot of commitments. You have to put in the work to see an outcome. So right now it is on pause, but there's definitely plans to go do something around that. Who is the islander you haven't talked to and want to catch up with? That's a good one. I kind of talk to a lot of the girls a lot. Not gonna lie, I speak to the girls quite a lot. Link up definitely is needed with a lot of them. I feel like I actually miss Mal because when I came out of Bella, I was with Mal a lot. Leah and Ruchi. I feel like Ruchi's obviously been in a different country. Leah lives in Manchester, and like again, I came out with Leah, so like we literally just have that like kind of bond. So I feel like them three girls are people who we just need a whole day catch up, like a sit in. Do you miss living in the villa? I definitely miss being with everyone. Yeah, I do miss it. It's a unique experience, is what I'll say. So it's like, I do miss being with everyone. I do miss actually being away from my phone. Um, yeah, I definitely do miss that as well. Did you know Scott was going on Love Island the day before he was going, the night before he was going? I think I used to speak to him quite a lot, and the night before he was going, we were on FaceTime, and he was like, "Oh, my flight in the morning," and I was like, "Flight?" And he was like, "Oh shit." And then obviously he told me then, and then obviously I knew then. So I knew when he flew out. I didn't know from like when he got approached or like during like when all the videos were out or when like at the reunion. I didn't know then. Yeah, I knew the day before he was going. He did speak about like it used to jump hints, okay? So he used to say stuff, but obviously it wasn't like definite or it wasn't like specific. So obviously that was the date I knew when he was going, that he was going, etc. Biggest misconception about being on Love Island. So I feel like the biggest misconception is that it's easy or like, you know, how can you find love? You definitely can. You definitely can. Do you like the way you're portrayed? You know what? I haven't watched it back. I just haven't had the time. I have not had the time to watch it back. But what I would say is that you know, I wish they showed more personality. I wish they showed more to it again, but it is TV. You can only show an hour, so I do get it. So this is just gonna be a quick like questions about me. So, so this is general questions. This is just like a quick fire questions. It's not gonna take long. So, what is your favorite color? Blue. What were you doing prior to being on Love Island? Commercial real estate. How did I get into real estate? I could do a whole video about that. But I did do a course. I did do a master's in real estate development and investment. What were you like as a kid? Bossy, but smiley and funny. Do you have any siblings? Yes, I have one sister, a year older, 13 months, Irish twins. Fave perfume, I'm probably not gonna pronounce this right, but Le Internet by Givenchy. Givenchy. My accent's terrible. How tall are you? I do not know, but I'm guessing it is. I don't know because people claim they're my height and they're like taller than me or shorter than me. So I think I'm 5'6", but I think I'm really like 5'5", 5'5.5". Do you prefer gloss or matte? Matte. Are your teeth real? Yes, I did have braces and I did do Invisalign. Um, and I do not have bonding. Would I do reality TV again? Yes. So that was my Q&A. Hopefully I covered as much as, you know, I could. I did try to answer everything. Um, Tell me if you want to know anything else, what kind of videos you want from me. And yes, thank you for watching, guys.